Hello, everyone. Welcome to the One Conscious Love Network. I'm here with Heather. Heather and I met on Facebook and a beautiful community. I'm so glad that you're here, Heather, to tell everyone more about you and what you do. So please introduce yourself and tell everyone how is it that you shed your light in the world?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Heather Giles. I read tarot cards. I've read tarot cards now for 36 years before, it became a commonplace thing to do. Clairvoyant as a child, and I mostly use the cards for focus now because there's so many things that happen in life. It's easier to clear and use my gifts through the tarot. I also sing. I'm a mom and a grandma, and I'm an NLP practitioner. I don't have
Mhm.
my a website up and running, but I'm working on that.
That's beautiful. And tell us more. What was it like to be a clairvoyant child? Because that can be very difficult
It's
sometimes.
very hard. My parents weren't together, but both held very strong religious views, and
Mhm.
so I think at certain points, my mother had a cognitive problem, so
Mhm.
um, a lot of times she would be scared. Like I would have dreams that would come true.
Right.
I what happened when I was 7, my brother's friend's plane crashed, and we were outside playing. And I looked up before the engine started cutting out and I said, that plane's going to crash. And
Mm.
it's just things come out of you that, like, it's not like you hear a voice or anything like that. It's just, it comes out of you and it's like, Where is this coming from? I'm not thinking, like, I'm a little kid, right? And everybody was laughing at first, saying, like, because I'm the youngest on my street, I'm 7 years old, the plane's flying fine. And then what had happened before we went in for lunch, I told everybody what they were going to have for lunch and whose
Mhm.
mom was going to call them and in what order. And
Wow.
like as I was doing it, like you're thinking in your head, like, Why would I be telling them this?" Like it was hard because things like that would come out of you. And so a lot of people think you're weird. And, at the time, like I'm going to be 60 this year. So back in the day,
Mhm.
like now people are more conscious to their children realizing that they came from like they're reincarnated, stuff like that. You see videos all the time, like, look at my child. They're, telling me what life is about and stuff like that. They're more
Right.
open to it. They weren't back then,
Mm.
right? And what happened was we convinced a neighbor to drive us to the site of the accident. And that morning, my brother was supposed to go up in the plane. So I went out to play thinking my brother was in the plane. We end
Oh,
up at the site. I'm seeing his friend's mom, face contorted, right? She's lost her son. I really, he was such a wonderful guy. Like my brother is almost 12 years older than me. So you got to think, when these big guys came over, they could be like, get lost, kid, sort of thing. And he would always talk to me and be like a very nice person, right? Anyway, and so I started screaming. And then my neighbor realized she'd taken us to the site, of a death, drove us
mm.
home. I go in and the police didn't come to our house. And I was like, why aren't they telling my mom? And I didn't go back out to play. And I'm just sitting on the bed waiting for the police to come. I'm trying not to cry profusely because, like, I love my brother dearly, didn't want him to be gone and everything. At 4 o'clock, I finally got up and the kitchen was to the left. The front door was to the right. And my brother walked through the front door. I
Mm.
cried, jumped into his arms. I was like, "You're alive." I was so excited, right? And he goes, "How'd you find out
Wow.
about Rick?" Right. And, I'm going, "Oh, Mrs. Pritchard drove me there." Meanwhile, my mother knew nothing about it. Like, back in the day, we
Wow.
were just out there running wild. And
That's incredible.
I was sitting there the one day and I was talking to my friend about this. And I said, why would a little 7-year-old need to see, like, because I don't believe in coincidences. Nothing,
Mhm.
nothing is coincidence. Like, everything happens. There's reasons for things to happen in your life, regardless of how bad it is. There's reasons that things happen that you need to see. And what happened years later, my daughter was having her child and her fiance had left her, but he came while she was having the baby. She wanted
Mm.
everything to be civil. And like he convinced her to get pregnant before they got married and then left her when she was 4 months pregnant and she just turned
Wow.
20. So she was very young. And I was there and he suddenly got up and they were out west. And he suddenly got up and said that he was going to go back to Fort Mac.
Mm.
And in my head, I was thinking, if you're going to leave her, just leave, you know, like I was like, oh,
Right.
you know, kind of thing. And I'll get into my how I came to be more about one conscious love. But at that point, I was like, thinking, very angry, right?
Mhm.
But I grabbed him by the shoulders and I said, don't go back to Fort Mac. Just stay here in Edmonton. Even if you don't go to sleep, just visit somebody here in Edmonton. Don't go back to Fort Mac. Don't and like
Wow.
same similar thing. Like it's coming out of your mouth. You don't know. Are you there?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Sorry. I'm
okay.
here.
Okay. Sorry about that. You
I
don't
just
know where
pressed the
it's
wrong button. Sorry.
okay. That's okay. You don't
I'm
know
back.
where it's coming from or anything like that. Of
Mm.
course, he didn't listen to me. He drove back to Fort Mac. Car cut him off. He went into a tractor trailer, went up the side of the tractor trailer. Another car came around, split his car completely in half, and he was killed. It was the day my granddaughter was born, and it was like I felt horrendous. Like if you've ever thought that you want someone like he wasn't even 21
Oh,
or no, wasn't 20. No, I think he was 21 and he wasn't quite 22. But still, it was gut wrenching. And what happened was I was down having a burger downstairs. My daughter had had the baby and he had gone back and then she'd said to me, no one can hear, no one's heard from Daniel. I said, well, he's driving, right?
right.
And I said, like, and he was mad. She wanted to then name the baby her maiden name instead of his name because they weren't getting married, right? So, but he hadn't left like peeled out or anything. He left calmly, like it wasn't,
Yeah.
a furious thing or anything. Anyway, so I said, he's probably in a snit. He doesn't want to pull over and text back. He's not going to text while he's driving, which is a good thing, right? And I'm having dinner. And I said, I was sitting there and I thought, I feel so alone. Like I've
Mm.
had like a cold feeling come over me, right? And I thought, I got to finish this and get back to her. I thought like she's feeling alone or something, like I thought it had to do with my daughter. So I got up off the elevator. I could hear screaming. I went down and she was like screaming and her face was contorted, right? And immediately I knew somebody had died. I thought it was her grandmother. And I went, your grandmother? And she went, no, Daniel. Like she just like
Mm.
face contorted screaming. And I ran down to the nurse's station. I said, look, I haven't had to deal with this. Her milk has to come in. She's just had the baby. I need her to remain calm. I need a social worker and I need help now. Right.
Yeah.
So I knew immediately how to kick in and get what we needed and everything like that. But I couldn't take her pain away or anything. But I
Yeah.
was sitting with a friend after all that happened. And I was sitting with her and I said, some days I sit there and it's like, why did a 7-year-old have to see that? And then all of a
Mm.
sudden it clicked and I went, oh my God. So I could deal with it when my daughter's
Mm.
face contorted and she was dealing with someone that she loved that had died, and
Mm.
it's such a terrible thing because we treat death like I don't believe our consciousness is gone. I
Right.
believe that the spirit is always with us. It's just that some people can't sense it. And I should say, because of my abilities, when she was little, she had some things happen. And my
Mm.
friend had died. Long story, but I was in an abusive relationship with her dad, and he kicked us out. So we had our own place, and she was like 9. And my friend had just passed away, and I was sitting at the kitchen table, and I'm talking to my friend, like like I'm like,
So sad.
Cindy, I'm sorry that because she really wanted to tell me something before she passed. She was on morphine really bad when I called her back. She said, I'm really drugged out right now. We'll have to talk tomorrow. And she died.
Mm.
So I have no idea what the really important thing was that she wanted to tell me. And so I said, Cindy, I don't know what you wanted to say. I hope you're peaceful. Love you so much, like this. And she always, when Jocelyn used to walk by her, my daughter, she'd tug on her shirt sleeve. right? And it just so happened my daughter was in the hallway. There was like a big mirror in our hall, and she was in the mirror, and suddenly her shirt tugged, right?
Wow.
Well, she was 9 and she freaks, right? And she's like, Mom, Mom, and like, and just crying, having a whole episode, and
Unbelievable.
I just, my son's into like the Conjuring movies, and I don't really like, um, stuff like that because
Right,
I don't want to bring in any bad.
right.
Do you know what I mean? And I've had when I was a small child, I was really sick, near death experience, like the little creepy guys at the end of your bed. Like it's just a weird thing. Like the doctor actually coming in, going, if you don't do something now, she's going to die, kind of thing. Like not, just oh, I had a high fever. Like it was,
Right.
serious stuff. So anyway, in the oh, I don't want to really do a spoiler alert, but there's a little part, okay, and her daughter is really upset and says, mommy, like help me, and she has some little rhyme or something for her daughter to say. But it was just like I'm watching this movie and I was like, this is so similar to what I went through, because
Yes.
but I knew it
Wow.
was something good. I said,
Right. Yes.
you know that Cindy always did this with you. She always tugged on your shirt. I
Right.
was talking to her. I didn't know that the sign would be with you. I'm
Wow.
really sorry. And she said, well, tell them I don't want it. Make it go away. And so I said,
So cool.
leave my daughter alone.
Right.
Leave my daughter alone. She does not want this. This isn't for her. Stop. Right. And so when he died, she wanted a sign. And I
Yeah.
said, you can't pick and choose. Like,
Yeah.
you can either go with it and, let people think you're weird and have these things happen,
Yeah.
or you ask for it to be blocked and you ground yourself and you protect yourself and don't ever
Yeah.
let it in.
It's
So,
not a door they can just open and close at your convenience.
well, and see that I didn't know about grounding as a young
Mhm.
child, didn't find out about law of attraction till, well, what happened was I manifested. And I sat at my kitchen table one day. And at the time, I was really angry because I have autoimmune problems. So I have some dislocations and a lot of things wrong in my body. And I felt that I was just doing everything and no one was helping me. And I was very
Mhm.
angry and, you know, I need some help and it's all about me and everything. Right. So
Right.
I'm sitting at the table and I decided I was going to manifest. And I said, I need a move and a change. Okay. I said, universe, I need a move and a change. Remember, I was angry at the time. Okay. We went out to get coffee. We came back. I went over on my ankle. As we came out, I didn't have my driveway paved at the time and there was like bumps. There was a light dusting of snow
Mhm.
and I missed like where the bump was in the driveway because of the light dusting of snow, wearing my running shoes because I didn't put my boots on, and went over my ankle. Started to do a little dance. I've fallen like umpteen million times, had never broken a bone, right? You know, and I said, "Oh, we're gonna do this, are we?" Like in my angry tone, and ended up basically, I almost said ass over tea kettle, but basically that's what it was. I'm going head first down, way up in the air. My feet are way behind me,
Oh.
and all of a sudden I come to, and I'm conked out on my step. I can see the side of my nose. I thought that I'd lost my eye. I had put my arms out straight. I was still held the coffees because of the price of the coffees. I didn't want to let them go. So I
Right.
guess I'd put my arms out straight when I fell. If you land on your arms with them out straight, you break your shoulders. I broke both my shoulders.
Wow.
I had a black eye and everything. And oh, and I severed the upper muscles in my arms. Um, But I had a change and a move because my partner did not want to toilet me. I had to go live with my daughter
Mm.
and I had a complete change. Like I can't to this day dress my upper body.
Wow.
I have to get my partner and I can't my left shoulder now like it's sitting out of socket.
Mm.
So I can't bake or anything because I can't reach with my arm.
Right.
Like I can't reach up. This is as high up as I could reach with my arm.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm working on like building the strength in my arms. I'm doing
Mhm.
some work with a trainer. But, you
Mhm.
know, like, so it was an amazing experience. And not at the time, I was like, where are my angels and my guides and everything like
Yeah.
that? But I had asked for it. You know,
Yeah.
you must be careful when you're manifesting what you ask for and in what
Absolutely.
frame of mind you are, right?
Hmm.
Because life is happening for you and it will happen for you however it think like the universe only gives you back the vibration that you're sending out. It doesn't give you back the vibration that you think you're sending out. And
Beautiful. I love it.
so
Yeah.
anyway, that's when I found out about law of attraction
Hmm.
because my daughter still sees my ex-husband, like still sees him, talks to him on the phone and stuff. And
Hmm.
so since I was living with her daily, daily he decided he would phone her. I don't know if he still calls her daily, but he did at that time. So I got little headphones and I found a wonderful program about law of attraction and doing some
Hmm.
hypnosis and stuff like that to get my mindset right, get my
Beautiful.
mindset back, connect me to source, you know,
Yeah.
and everything like that. And that's where I came back to my connection and
Mhm.
everything
That's
like that. So
beautiful.
it's
I love that.
and it's hard because like when I split up with him, I was very angry and like there's no forgiving him and everything like that. And through
Yes.
a Dolores Canyon and stuff like that, you learn that you need to forgive for yourself. You might never
It's not
forget.
about them, right?
Pardon?
Forgiveness isn't about them, it's about
It,
you.
yes, but you don't realize that when you're in it. And you
Right.
don't like you don't even see so many like afterwards there's so many signs and so many things that you should have seen. But you
Mm.
don't. You don't. Now, like even now you can be enlightened as you want, but there's going to be certain things that you're not seeing that are
It's so
happening,
beautiful,
you know.
Heather. So true. I love it.
Yeah.
A question I always ask everyone is, what is one conscious love to you?
So, one conscious love to me is I believe we're all conscious co-creators. I believe we are still connected to source energy. Our souls are always connected to source energy. And
Mhm.
so we are all connected. When we basically when we die, you have your choice to return to a new body, be a new person, right? But when you die, you're all a collective a collective in the vortex in my thought process because I know everybody has their own views and everything like that, but
Yeah.
I believe that we are all conscious co-creators connected. And you may not like it. You may not like that, you're connected to that person. And it took me like I was 30 years old when I found out that not everybody's going to love you. And it was
Hmm.
a minister. A minister said to me, not everybody's going to love you. And I said, well, why not? And then you're like, why? What can I do to change myself so that I can make it better for them? And it's like you can't please everybody.
Right.
They're not going to love you because we're down here and
Mm.
everybody's having their own journey. They're having their own experience. It's all those little things. And what you have to do is keep your vibration high,
Yes.
regardless of the little things. It's not contrast is going to come. Okay. And yes, it seems like some people never have contrast, but okay, say the person that you think never has contrast, a broken fingernail could mean like the most devastating thing in the world. Do you know what, like, whereas, uh, that's something that we can really roll with, but
Yeah.
some people just can't. It's like, oh my God, I had say they spent their last little bit of money on those nails that they just had done. And then one of the nails fell off. Oh my goodness, like, but, but it's how you deal with the contrast when it comes. And I'm not saying like, don't deal with it.
Yeah.
We're all going to have our down times. And believe me, because of my pain that I go through, I'll allow
Mm.
myself a pity party. And then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we've got and if I can't get out of my funk, I take a nap.
Yeah.
I return to a state that gets me right out of this mind mess. because it's a
Mhm.
mind mess when you're dwelling and like and I come from a long line of worriers. Like it's hard to get out of worry to just
Love
give
it.
it over to a higher power. But it's something that it's a learned thing, and you try every day. You get up every day and you think,
Mm.
okay, today is the day, and I have rituals like that I do too. But
It's
I,
beautiful, Heather. I love it. I love it. And we're going to put all your links in the comments, but also I want to encourage everyone to reach out to you, make a friend. Obviously, you have a lot to share, and it's beautiful.
I'm
It's a
on
beautiful
Facebook as
journey.
Heather Giles, and I think I'm on Instagram as at heathergiles.376, I believe. So
Awesome.
you
We'll
can
make
reach
sure
out
to
to me
put
there.
your links so it's easy for people to find you. And I hope you'll be back on the One Conscious Love Network. We have lots of events coming up, and I would love to have you as one of our presenters. It was such a joy
Well,
to get to know you better.
yeah, I thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you guys very soon.